Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 38 of An Eternity of Basketball. We're really excited to interview our guest today. It's the first time he's going to be talking to Philippine media since his playing days in the PBA ages ago. We're really excited, and I hope you all I hope you all will be tuning in now because we have Willie Pearson on our show today, and as soon as we get this other stuff out of the way, we'll go straight to him. But first, August 18th is actually a very special day for two reasons. First of all, it's the birthday of my wife, so I just like to greet her. A happy birthday. Thank you for putting up with me all these years. And this is also why I'm wearing this shirt. We men support women in honor of my wife. In honor of my wife, yeah. And secondly, on a more somber note, today is actually the fourth death anniversary of the maestro, Baby Dalupan. He passed away 4 years ago. And as you know, he was the winningest coach in the PBA before Tim Cone um, beat his record for most championships. But yeah, it's his fourth death anniversary today. And well, I guess it's the timing that we have one of his former players uh, as guest uh, as guest today, and we'll get with you in a while. But first, let's watch this ad from one of our sponsors.
Break through a world where big data beats your worries. A world that gives you priority when innovations come. This is the GigaLife own Smart Signature. Simplified by the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. The choice is simple. Move up to Smart Signature and make your mark. How do I know it's meant to be? Simple, smart, ako.
All right, all right, all right. Before we get down to the interview, just like to remind you, this is the podcast form of An Eternity of Basketball, but we also have an audio version where you can catch up with the old episodes, and they are available on Spotify and Anchor. We have, I think, the first 7 or 8 episodes already that are up. So just search for that on Spotify and Anchor, and we also have our social media accounts for Globally Ballin and An Eternity of Basketball right there on the left-hand side of your screen. All right. So, and then also, please follow the Globally Ballin podcast as well. It's a show where we take a surface level view of sports and opportunities around the world. There are dozens of episodes already up, 50 plus, available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and other platforms. And then finally, don't forget also to follow Hang Time with Cassie G. This is a podcast hosted by Cassie Gormley, a volleyball podcast where she interviews a key figure in Philippine volleyball every week. There are also some episodes already available on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor. And again, don't forget to follow the Globally Ballin social media accounts. Okay, anyway, here we are. Welcome to our guest, who's straight from Hawaii. He was a 1984 PBA Rookie of the Year, Mythical 5 member, 1985, three-time PBA champion, and a member of the RP training team, that great RP training team in 1981. Mr. Willie Pearson, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Aloha and mabuhay to all the Filipino fans out there in basketball. Happy to be here.
That's great. Willie, what have you been up to? A lot of fans have been wondering where you are, and you've stayed out of the limelight pretty much. What are you doing in Hawaii? First of all, are you okay there with
Oh yeah, I'm
the situation?
beautiful over here. Beautiful. Keep my body warm from getting older, and those veins. Got to stay in warm weather. warm weather, and took care of my parents, and need to take care of them like they took care of me, and just my grandkids around, and my kids, my daughter, except Lou. I just talked to him. He wants to go back to Paris, I guess, but and just enjoying life right now. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Shout out first of all to your son Lou for arranging this interview. And I also forgot to introduce my co-hosts Noel Zarate and Charlie Kuna. So I got a little excited.
Noel.
Yeah.
It's okay, Sid.
Yeah.
Doing a great job.
And we have this virus over here. That's a little problem. Can't go anywhere or do much right now. There's not much we can do over here because it's getting it's getting a little worse. So they're making everybody stay in. That's a problem we have over here.
There was a recent spike there, right, in Hawaii?
Oh yes. Right now there is.
Yeah, it's crazy all over the place. It's crazy all over the place. We try to stay inside the house, but there's no sports to watch, so we talk about sports rather than watch it now. That's why you're here. That's why we're here.
Right.
We're gonna talk about some basketball.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. But when you back in the day when you were from Hawaii originally, right? At least I know.
Right.
I know you studied at Chaminade.
Right.
How did your basketball journey start? How did you start playing the game, Willie? Who introduced it to you, and then who were your idols when you were a kid, and then trying to imitate those guys?
Was the New York Knicks was Earl of Pearl Monroe and two guards for New York Knicks.
Walt Frazier, the other one.
Of course, Walt Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, he's my favorite. Walt Frazier, my favorite player.
Clyde.
Yep.
Walt Clyde.
Yeah. Yep. Clyde.
Well,
exactly.
how old were you when you started playing?
Started a little late. My brother played sports. My older brother, he's like 6'5", 6'6". So he played football mostly, but he played basketball also. And I would watch him play and go to his games, and he had all the girls. You know what I mean?
Just like Noel. Yeah? Okay.
Oh, gosh. Music.
Oh man, I'm like, I gotta go do this. So I started trying to play. And then played PAL league. Small. Ninth grade freshman league, and then I JV, then varsity. I wanted to play varsity with my brother his senior year, so we played together. But I might not make the team. But what I did was I practiced all summer, 3 times a day, and then every day I was there. And then some of my teammates, they would laugh and when they see me at the park, and they say, "Oh yeah, we see you at the park every day. You're playing in summertime. I'm not going to the beaches. Me and my dog would go to the park." And then finally, come tryouts, I made the team, the varsity team, and I started. And I made Player of the Year.
Wow.
Just that I dedicated that one summer, and it did it for me. I just shot all day, just hundreds of shots from everywhere, and that's where it started.
Where did that drive come from? Did you have a chip on your shoulder to begin with that said, I want to prove myself in basketball, or you just fall in love with the sport?
No, I was like, I felt like if I try out, I didn't like to lose, or I didn't like to, I didn't want to be like embarrassed. Like if I'm gonna try out for a team, I want to make sure I'm prepared. Or anything I do, I pretty much want to be prepared. Like in sports, especially when you have a lot of people out there, you want to. In competition, it's competitive, right? I want to be competitive, I don't want to just be over there and I want to know what I'm doing when I'm running up and down the court. Before I didn't know, I'd turn around and shoot at the other people's goal, and it really was about practice. That's what did it for me. Practice.
Willie, you mentioned you were Player of the Year. This is still in high school, right? You're talking about high school.
Yeah, high school.
And what position were you playing already at the time? Were you a 2? Were you a 3?
Guard. I played guard too.
Already, yeah. You're playing 2. Okay, yeah. So that was that early. That was your position already. What year did you start at Chaminade though?
I started there my senior year. I started there like in 70. 70, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to 79, 80.
Okay.
And my junior year I left there my junior year and I went to Europe.
Okay.
But Chaminade, that was a good experience. As a matter of fact, when I was in the Philippines, when I was there, they would ask me if I wanted to play in the NBA, right? Some of these agents for some of the import players,
Mm-hmm.
they would come up to me and ask me about that. They said, don't you want to play in the NBA? And I said, or did you have any thoughts or think about it? I said, yeah. I told him, yes, I did. And then he told me, he said, well, I can guarantee you a 1-year contract. And so I was looking at him and then I thought about it, but I had just got to the Philippines and I wanted to travel, and so I just told him I'd think about it, but I never did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just forgot about it. I enjoyed myself, playing there. And when I was with the RP team and we went to Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
And then while we were in Kuwait, we watched a team from Sudan, national team, practicing at the gym where we were going to practice. And then when they got done, I noticed this big black guy came up to me. And then he said, "Are you Pearson?" And I told him, "Yeah, I'm with the." Yeah, and he goes, "Are you with the Philippine national team?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, He told me I'm so and so, and I'm going to be coaching Georgetown
Okay.
next year. And so I
JP.
was like, okay. And then he goes, "I need a point guard. You have one more eligibility on your career, right? Your college playing." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "How would you like to come play for me? I give you all the playing time you need and all this stuff, And I was like, I didn't know who he was,
Uh-huh.
And then until later,
Yeah, you're right.
I realized who I was talking to. So that was really something I thought about later. I said, "Wow," I said, "that's the guy who came talk to you, wanted you to play." He said, "I give you all the playing time." And I'm like, but I didn't know who he was then,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until later. And then I realized
He was still up and coming at that time. Mm-hmm.
yes, he was coaching the Sudan national team where he got Pat Ewing from.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And so that was a good one,
Wow, that's a great story. I mean, you could have been Allen Iverson before Allen Iverson came along,
Exactly.
right?
I thought about that. Yep.
Could have been teammates with. Could have also been teammates with Patrick Ewing for one season.
Yeah,
At least one season.
Exactly. And I wonder if I always wondered. I wonder if he remember. I know he would remember when he came to me because he knew me. I didn't know who he was, but he knew everything about me. And he said he could use a point guard like me. He needs a guy like me, And I was just like, nah, yeah, but I didn't know, that it was real like that.
Yeah.
Of course, Willie's talking about the legendary John Thompson.
John Thompson.
Yeah.
Went on to be a legend with Georgetown University. That's a great story.
Yes. Yes, I know. I kept thinking. I thought about that all the time. What it would have been like. If I had took up that offer. But I didn't know it was real. I didn't.
What year? What season would it have been, Willie, if you had been able to play?
That was at the time when I was with the national team. We went to Kuwait for an exhibition or something.
Yeah.
That was about 80.
It's been 81.
Yeah, around 80. Before I went to Christmas, some years before that.
Okay. No, because I was thinking if you had played 81, 82, then you would have been part of that Georgetown team that lost to Michael Jordan in North Carolina in 1980.
You might not have lost to Michael Jordan if Willie played.
I'm just thinking if it fits that timeline or if it would have been, a later season.
How crazy would that have been, right?
Yeah.
Right. You'd be guarding Michael Jordan, a really young Michael Jordan there too.
Oh, favorite player. I mean, the best to me of all time, right? Pound for pound, the best.
I need to ask when you were
go ahead.
Noel, when you were at Chaminade, Willie, were there NBA scouts watching you guys? Did anybody approach you already as a prospect for the NBA draft at the time?
Yes. I had two of them. I was at we were playing UC Davis in California, and my coach came to me, just in the locker room. And he walked by me. He said, "There's two pro scouts here, Willie, to come see you. See you play." So my junior year, so I was like, I just looked at him. I said, "Okay." And I think I had about 39 that game, So I had a pretty good game. Yeah.
That was that was a good game to get
Pretty
39.
good.
Yeah, and we won. Yep.
So what did they say to you? They came up to you. Did they interview you after the game?
No, they couldn't talk to me. I don't think
Yeah,
they
you
could
can't.
talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
They can
that's
talk
not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They,
not allowed.
they,
okay.
they went to the coach and told him that they were there to see me, and and so he let me know that they were there. But
So you could have had an NBA journey after Chaminade. What happened?
they wanted me to finish my senior year.
Okay.
And then I guess after I went to the Philippines, they still had some guys would still kept an eye on me or whatever, and they felt I got a little more experience, in playing. They wanted me to get a little more experience too, by finishing up,
Okay.
Because
I also want to ask this ever since before that. Did you know from the get-go, Willie, that you had Filipino blood, and how were you discovered to play for the Philippine national team?
Who reached out to you?
it was I know Boya Fabli.
Yeah.
Boy Fable, yes.
I have went to I was in Europe, in Switzerland, and then there a group of guys, Globetrotters, and some other guys came in, and then we were at a club, and then we started talking. Then I asked one of them. I said, where'd you come in? Where were you playing at? He said, oh, I was in the Philippines. I go, oh yeah. I go, the Philippines. He goes, yeah. I go, they got basketball over there. He said, yeah, that's the #1 sport. He said, oh man, that's my favorite place to play. If that's the best place you could ever play, is in the Philippines. And I was like, it is? I didn't know. Then right after I talked to him, I got on the phone to my mom, and I said, Mommy, how come you didn't tell me they had basketball in the Philippines? She goes, oh yeah, they Filipinos, they play basketball, and I'm like, now you tell me. And then so I started writing to teams. I wrote to Toyota with one team. We went, and then Toyota got back to me, and then I ended up going. I ended up going to the Philippines and trying out, and then that's how I hooked up with Boy Fabli, and he pretty much did everything. He took care of me really good. He handled everything. He got me in there, and then they got in touch with Kawanko, and then they said they wanted me to stay. They said, hey, we're gonna do something. Stay. And then he sent me to Kawanko had sent me to the mainland, California, to go with some basketball officials from BAP, and at that time BAP, and then to go look for other players. He said, "Oh, we want players like you. Can we find some more?" And then we went there we went around looking. Well, they went around looking. I stayed in Hawaii while they were looking, and then they came. I guess that's where it all started, right there with the RP team and the cement company and everything.
Yeah, Northern Cement.
Northern
Cement. I want to backtrack a bit. So it was Toyota who first got back to you.
Yeah, Toyota, and then that's why the coach that time was
Fort Acuna.
Yeah,
Fort Acuna.
Yeah. And there was one more coach.
For Toyota.
Silverio. Dante Silverio.
Well, I talked to Dante Silverio. I talked to him, and then they and actually I had signed a contract with them to play for them.
Okay, really?
And then and what happened was I ended up staying with Don Tolson and O'Neill at this was for Gilby's Gin.
Oh yeah, right. Because you were supposed to play for St. George, right? In the Mika. That's what I know.
Yeah,
right.
That was in the beginning. Yeah, and then what happened was they were funding me too, also. And they what happened was the national team, Kawanko, came into the picture, and then they were just like custodians for a time period, while they were setting up things, and then they were Kawanko had then they had officially asked St. George Gilby's that they needed me for the national team, and then they said they wrote a letter and they told them they were more than honored. They were so happy to give me to the national team to represent the country. You know, it'd be the honor for them to do that, and that they'd be willing to financially take care of it too. So that's how that went, and it was. So that's what pretty much started there with St. George and Gilby Gin and Toyota. And Toyota came later. Toyota came a little later when after about, I don't know if it was, I've been for the national team a few years. And then finally, I asked for my release to go to the PBA.
Yeah.
I went to Coanco and asked him for that. And then, and so they agreed. And then I went to Toyota and CRISPA I was talking to actually. And then I'd signed a contract with Toyota before CRISPA.
Okay.
And I guess who came to Tommy Minotok was going to coach CRISPA.
Right.
And so when that happened, I ended up things worked out in another way that way. And I ended up going to CRISPA. And
so you had a contract with Toyota already, but for some reason you ended up with CRISPA.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember how that happened?
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to understand how that happened.
I know.
Process that.
I mean, of all the two teams that you could possibly have signed with, it just happened to be the two rival teams.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, there's someone already on the feed saying it's a good thing you ended up with CRISPA, because obviously this guy's a CRISPA fan, Marlon.
No, you should have ended up with Toyota.
I had a contract with Toyota, and it was like, and then Chris, I don't know what happened. You know, then it was like something going on.
Yeah, boardroom negotiations, I suppose.
Yeah,
right?
It's a travesty. That is a travesty. You should have played for Toyota.
There's an alternate timeline out there where
I thought I was.
It's running the fast break with Sonny Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz, not
Yeah.
with Willie and Can you imagine that?
Hey, do you remember they had the 2-on-2 competition too? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They only had that one time, huh?
Yeah,
I think so. Wait, you played in that? You played in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was your partner?
Jimmy Javier.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's like a big small combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know who won?
I actually don't. Who won that tournament? The 2-on-2. You did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did. and you probably did most of the scoring, right?
Probably.
Yeah, Jimmy banged up everybody so you could score. That's the way he was, right?
Yeah. Jimmy, give me that screen, and then just give me a second to look at the hoop, you know, and then
That's all you needed.
it was like when we won it, it was like 5 seconds ago, you know, and then they had a good defense set up for us, and then I couldn't penetrate, I couldn't do anything. Then I ended up having to shoot it in between half court and the free throw in the top of the key.
Wow.
And I just let it go, and it went in, and that was it. We won.
So you were doing
huh?
Damian Lillard. You were doing Damian Lillard and Steph Curry back then, huh?
That's
So let me
pretty
get
much.
this straight. You were supposed to be Allen Iverson before Allen Iverson came around, and then you were Damian Lillard before Damian Lillard came around. That's a great story.
And it's true. That's what happened. True story, you know. And I mean, I want somebody to go ask Thompson, see if he remembered that. I'm sure he did. I mean, he knew me. I didn't really know him, you know. But I know he's a big guy. You know,
he is. Well, he was a center.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Big guy.
And that's, I guess, how he got Patrick Ewing from over there, you know, when he was coaching the Sudan national team.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I want to backtrack a bit, Willie, because the first time you made news in the Philippines is when you joined that fabled RP training team, as they call it. They discovered you. They discovered Ricky Brown. They discovered Eddie Joe Chavez. Then you had a bunch of locals and a bunch of guys like Dennis Still, Jeff Moore playing on that team as well.
Right.
What was that experience like playing for Ron Jacobs at the onset of the program?
Yeah.
I knew Eddie George. We played Eddie Joe Chavez. We played against each other in college. So I played against him in Hawaii when he was, and Kurt Rambis was his teammate at Santa Clara. So we knew each other.
Right.
Yeah. And so, Ricardo, me and Ricardo, we were in the magazine, Street and Smith magazine.
Yeah.
We were on the same page, same page together. So it was like, what a coincidence, And so, and other players, the other guys, I didn't really. I knew Ron Jacobs from coaching
Loyola America. Yeah, Loyola.
Loyola. And that experience there, that was it was an experience. For me, I'm like, my main thing for what I was trying to do, I wanted to play and I wanted to travel. I wanted to go to different places. I wanted to see different cultures and see how people were and where they were and learn like history. You know what I mean? Like going, like when we were in India. Oh wow, that was a really good experience. And while in India, I was with the coach. The coach and I. What happened was we had won the first game against India. We upset them, right? And then we had bye for about a week or two.
Okay.
About a week.
That's a long bye.
Yeah, we had bye. I know it was a long bye, and so we said, "Hey, let's go to Taj Mahal." So we rent us a cab. Rent us a driver and everything. Then it's like 6-hour drive, and then it was going to be nighttime by the time we got there. And then, as we were taking a shortcut through the desert, we got stopped by bandits or whatever they call them.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, we can see the town over here, and we're out on the sand. And then there's these guys with these long rifle bayonets, and then they stopped the guy, and I said, Coach, it's getting dark. I said, you go that way, I'm going this way, just in case. So he looked at me and he just nodded, and then they busted the 2 lights in the front of the thing, and then
Wow.
Then the lady said, "Don't go out." The lady, because we had a lady guide too. She said, "No, don't stay there." And then the guy gets out, pays or goes out and deals with these guys, and then we're able to go. And then we didn't come that way back. We didn't go that way back though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that really happened.
This was for the Asian Games, right, Willie? On
Asian
1982 Asian Games, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we just interviewed one of your teammates on that team, Onchi de la Cruz, who's also watching right now.
Onchi?
Yeah, he's watching right now.
Yeah,
Onchi's watching now. You know
Yeah,
who
I
else
know.
is watching? Abby King, your teammate too.
Oh,
Abby King's also
yeah,
watching
Abby.
right now.
Yeah, they're all watching right now.
Hey,
Yeah, Abe for you. Abby for us.
Yeah.
And then there's another guy watching. He's over there in Hawaii with you. His name's Chuck Barrero.
oh, I know. I see
Yeah,
Chuck.
of course, Chuck. Yeah. So he said,
Another former player.
He says aloha. He says aloha to you, Chuck.
Yeah,
My
Chuck
man,
knows I
Chuck.
see him from way back. He's always been. I see him during the break times. At the farm over there. And then Onching, is he in San Diego? Or is he?
No, he's here in the Philippines.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah,
He's back here.
He's back here.
Okay, because we were together, and we came with me here to Hawaii. Then he went on this to the mainland from there to see his relatives and everything up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ocean, yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got a story about him.
Okay, go.
Oh wow.
Story about him.
It should be good.
When we were in India, they had just built these condominiums for us, right? So what he does is he sits on the toilet with his feet up on top of the toilet, and then me and Loizaga, Joey, we're looking at him because we're all roommates, and then all of a sudden the toilet breaks, falls on the ground. Yeah, he falls on the ground with him on, and the toilet just shattered. Then we're like, oh man, and then we try to call one of the people to come. But this thing broke. What are you gonna do? Because it's into the wall, and then they came, took the toilet away, and left us a hole in the ground. And then that was it.
That was it.
That was it. That was
They
it.
didn't replace it. No replacement.
No replacement. We were looking at him like, see what you did, man. And then, Ocean, they remember that. Joey, they know. Yeah.
Yeah, Onchi likes to break things. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did not tell us that story when he guessed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was too embarrassed to tell that story.
No, he wouldn't tell that. I know he didn't forget.
Yeah. Let's see if he reacts later. Let's see if he comments about that.
We talked about him all through the games for that one. We called the coach in. We called everybody in to look and see what he did. Yeah, we actually that was our bathroom. That was it for that time period while we were there. Yeah, they didn't replace it. Just there. We had to do it.
Well, they do still have that style of bathroom in a lot of places until now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And the water, when we would take a shower over there, the water would come out brown or red or something. Okay. Oh, yeah, I believe that. Huh.
Okay.
Don't drink the water. In other words, don't drink the water.
Yeah.
My daughter said, hey.
And just to let everybody know, this is Willie's first interview on a Philippine-based show since he left the Philippines. So it's just an honor to be having these stories about what's been happening before. But I want to go back to that Army training team with Ron Jacobs and the rest of the guys. Who did you have a bond with on that team? I mean, who did you have a close relationship with during those times with the Army training team?
Probably pretty much me and Ricardo. We were always friends. From when we were on the mainland, I'd go to his apartment in L.A. He asked me to come over there, and I wasn't too familiar with it. And I remember one time he said, he wanted me to come over, and then I'm like, well, how do I get there? And then I get on the train, right? And then I get on the train, and then give me these names, and then, I eventually got there, but it was a good experience because I wasn't too familiar with that place, But it was good. It was a fun adventure. I'm an adventurer, so I love that adventure. Something new. And that's direction people, and I'm like, man, and I thought about it later. I'm like, wow, Ricardo, don't they have gangs out here like the Crips and the Bloods? I'm walking down streets over here. Good thing the neighborhood was pretty good. Good neighborhood. But yeah, I didn't have any problem. And so I knew Ricardo. Me and him we were close. Well, yeah.
Well, you had some pretty special guys. You had some pretty crazy guys on that team as well. The RP training team guys like Ito Esguerra, Ricky Relosa, Frankie Lim. And these are the tough guys in college at the time. And then you team up with them. So what was it like being with those guys?
I'm good friends with all of them. I love all those guys.
They've all been on the show too.
Yeah, Ricky.
Yes.
Ricky. Oh, he's a character. He's one of my good. I like Ricky. We had a lot of fun. Let me put it that way. We had a lot of fun together. Never a dull moment with these guys. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Never a dull moment. We always had action going with some kind. We were doing something. We, trying to stay out of trouble with you. It was fun.
Trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. We always had something. We never were bored. Let me put it that way. Never bored. It was fun. Really fun. I enjoyed those guys. Wow. I missed them.
Yeah.
They're all on Facebook, so you can contact these guys now. Most of them are actually.
Yeah. Oh, I talked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. Yeah, man. I miss those times with them. And I cherish all those times. Those memories I'll never forget. I'll never forget that. And I can think of so many things that we've done together. Just thinking of all the fun we had and things that we did. We had a lot and played. We enjoyed playing with each other too. These guys. Ricky, Ricky was a strong player. He's like. What I liked about Ricky was Relosa. He could. He was strong. He was determined every time he played. He'll rebound, and when he started scoring, it was like, he could score. It's like, but he knew what role he had to play when we played, whether it's going to be strictly defense. Or if he had to, when he knew he had to score, he'd score. And and I'm like, man, why don't you do that more? It would help. And he doesn't. I guess he's like, as you guys do that, So we did what we had to do to win. And Ricky's a winner. All those guys are winners. All of them. They're all winners. That's why I like playing with them. They like winning. And you want to play with those kind of players. That like to win, and they love winning.
And they're tough.
And they're tough. They're tough. Yeah. They're not going to give up or quit on you. You know what I mean? They're not going to quit. They're going to continue to play to the end.
Sid.
I just wanted to ask you, when you first came over to the Philippines, what was your initial impression about the Philippine brand of basketball?
Mm-hmm.
my impression was that I saw a lot of players like myself, you know, that they could shoot the ball, and they had a they had a, particular skill sets that they were good at. They were and clever, very clever players, wise, very clever. You know, they had. I learned a lot. Don't get me wrong. I picked up a lot. What worked for me that they had with the players there that I got from all. I took a little bit of everything from everyone, and I'd use it, and I'd use it all throughout my playing time there. I go, I like that one. And I'd use that move. Or I'd use particular things, little things that you guys might not have noticed, but I do it. But I'm not going to give it up, the secret. But there are things that they would do. You'd have to really know or be there to see it or watch it. It's little technical things that they would do that I liked, and it worked for me really well, really well. It was one of I became part of my game, So they have that, and I did that. And so those are some of the things. And other things they had was they and they're the same way. When they'll use things, that's the way you get better in anything. When you see someone else that's doing something well, and it can work for you, that's what you want. You'll take it, right? Anything, and that's what we did, and that's what everyone's good at. I mean, that's what, not everyone, but if you want to get better, you should try to do that. And I did it. I didn't try. I did it. I didn't try to do it. I was going to do it. If I saw something that this player did well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it. And if it worked for me, because I know it would work for me because I like it. I said, oh, wow, that's a good one. But maybe I made it my own in another way, though, something like that. And good players, they do those things, That's what you do.
Well, Sid asked you about your impression of Philippine basketball. I want to ask you now, what was your impression of the Philippines when you first arrived? I mean, this is the land of your heritage, and you're here for the first time to play basketball, but what was your overall impression when you came to the Philippines for the first time?
My impression, it was like, it wasn't, my impression was, I like it. It's hot. Part of it is hot.
It's not too far from Hawaii, right?
Right. Oh, yes. It's much hotter. Humidity anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Humidity. Yeah, humidity. And so it was let me see. My impression was that as far as basketball goes, or the country, or the people.
In the country, when you first showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the culture, the food.
Oh well, the food.
Traffic.
Traffic was traffic. Those things didn't bother me really. I'm a positive guy. I look at the good things. I'm looking like, oh, these are beautiful ladies over here. That's
Yes, sir.
That was my number one thing. Okay, if you want to know, that's my number one. So that was all I needed.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go.
I tend to agree.
I'm ready to go from there. That's how I go. To this day. And so I was like, okay. Now it was about seeing if they liked me, and part of it was like my whole thing why I wasn't really interested in the NBA. I was, and something I wanted to do in the beginning, right, was to see if I could play in the NBA. But when I went to the Philippines, I had a dream that what would be better than that would be able to, if I could play for the Philippine national team. That was the ultimate for me, because it's like it would be an honor for me, for a country to want me to represent them. And that was an honor for me. And that was better than the NBA.
I also saw a photo of you wearing a LaSalle shirt when you were here. LaSalle jersey, yeah. Did you actually represent LaSalle in the NCAA back then, or were just
I actually played a year of LaSalle in the NCAA.
Yeah, I played. I didn't know. I don't know if I don't remember that one. I remember playing for LaSalle, but I played against UP and a lot of the college teams, but I
Must have been one of those intercollegiate tournaments.
Yeah, national seniors or something.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
Well, since we asked you about the LSU LaSalle, because there is a picture with you wearing a jersey. You also had a bit of time at Arellano, right? Because you mentioned Joey Larzaga a while ago, and then I know Joey did play at Arellano, but you played with them too, right? How did that happen?
I went there because of Joey. You know, Joey wouldn't leave me alone. You know, so all the time. So, you know, I did it for him. You know, Joey and yeah, and it was good. I have no problems with that. And because actually my daughter went there after a while, you know, before she came here, you know, so they hooked her up, gave her free tuition and everything, and then before she came here, you know, and then that's what she went.
Did you actually enroll at LaSalle and Arellano? Were you taking credits there?
I was taking it. LaSalle, yes, I enrolled. I went to class over there, you know, and at Arellano, I did not.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. maybe there was a transcript with your name, but you had nothing to do with that, right?
Yeah, right. It was just like a summer league thing, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing sanctioned in anything like that.
Okay. But going back to the national team stint, you know, we need to talk about that 1981 Jones Cup that you played in.
Yep.
1981 Jones Cup. You beat teams from all over the world: U.S., France, Sweden, you know, New Zealand. All these great teams that you know were supposedly the more dominant teams, and you beat them. How tough was that? How tough was that tournament? Do you remember? What do you recall?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. And some of those guys on the U.S. team, I played against them in college also. You know, so I knew some of them. Oh yeah, it was tough. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But we had a team. We had was like could have competed with just about anybody. So, you know, they were tough, but they weren't. I knew we were going to win. You know, we had the best team by far. You know, we could have played anyone, probably beat them. It's, you know, on amateur level. Yeah, our team was really. I mean, good team, really good team.
Aside from you, who were the top scorers on that 1981 Jones Cup team? Do you recall?
Mostly the guys that Ron Jacobs knew from the teams that he competed against. I'm sure, you know, like the 7-footer we had, Schiff. We had one 7-foot guy from Athletes in Action.
Steve Shaw?
Yeah, Shaw.
Steve Shaw, yeah.
Eddie Joe was very good player. Ricardo. Frankie,
Dennis Still, right?
Yeah, Dennis Still, yeah.
Yeah, Frankie, I think.
Huge.
Yeah, but Dennis Still would grab the rebounds. You know, wasn't much of a scorer, yeah.
Really strong guy. Strong.
Yeah, Jeff Moore probably sharing the same position as you.
Jeff, one of my favorite people, and player. You know, Jeff really that kind of guy.
Yeah. It's a shame he never came back after they disbanded that national team he was on. He never came back to play as an import or anything here in the Philippines because Jeff Moore. A lot of the basketball fans don't appreciate how good Jeff Moore was.
Oh, exactly. Jeff Moore was phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know. He's very excellent player.
Yeah, because everybody remembers Chip Engeland with those 3-pointers and everything, but Jeff Moore was like, you know, all heart.
He's a key guy there, you know, because he can do it all, but you just don't notice the little things he's doing, you know.
Yeah. You know, I sort of liken Jeff Moore to Grant Hill. The way Grant Hill was playing in Duke reminded me a lot of how Jeff Moore played when he was in the Philippines.
Yeah,
hey, guess who's watching now? Ricky Relosa's watching already now.
Oh, Ricky. Well, Ricky should know that I talked about him. You know, his dad would always be at the games too, make sure Ricky stays straight. You know, you know, Ricky's not.
His dad was a cop.
Yeah, that was a cop, right?
Yeah, on a motorcycle, because we see Ricky, you better stop acting up, or I'm gonna tell your dad. You know what I mean? Ricky, he'd run out, he'd running all over the place. Ricky, we got a game, you got to go. Ricky loses temper every now and then, but you know he's fun. I mean, he's fun. he had one of those things one time that he ordered. I don't know where he got it from, but we were in the room playing cards at one of the tournament we were playing in. So we were playing a little card games, and all of us playing, and then all of a sudden he comes out with this electric thing trying to shock everybody.
Like a taser?
Yeah. Taser. Yeah, he got somebody. I don't know who he got in the room, but
well, his dad was a cop, so his dad must have had a taser, right?
Yeah, he had one of those, and we were running all. He's chasing us with that thing, and we were all running all over the place. And he whips it out.
Yeah.
I love fun times for those guys when they were all young.
Yeah,
you had guys like Frankie Lim, JB Yango, Ito Yesquera.
Yeah,
those guys were all crazy when they were all younger, right?
Ooh, yeah, but fun. I liked it. It was good fun, crazy to me, very fun, a lot of fun, I'm like, for me, I'm like, oh yeah, just like, I'm like, I like this, because it's fun, it's not boring, we have a good time.
We always get to travel a lot too.
Oh, that's what I like. Yeah, we get to travel and have fun, and I enjoy with these guys, they're fun to travel with and be with, not, just fun, we're thinking alike pretty much,
Yeah, you're all young and wild at the time, so that must have been fun. I have a question about Ron Jacobs, though. Yeah, we talked about Ron Jacobs already. I mean, how was he as a mentor to you guys when you guys were all starting out with that national team, and how did he hone you to be a good team, to be a great player?
Ron, he didn't hone me at all. He might have honed some other guys, but he pretty much was a coach that did the basic fundamentals of coaching. The players were already there. Players, he had all experienced players already, that know what to do. It's a matter of him putting them in and out and making sure they're conditioned for the games, because all of them have played in many international competition already. So they know what it's all about. He was a new one, so he really didn't know what it was about. We all knew. I mean, local players that, Filipino players knew about it. It was new to him, but not to the ones that, we've already been there. So he was learning.
Because, people, the Filipino basketball people look at Ron Jacobs as a guy who revolutionized basketball in the Philippines because of his training methods and all of that. But you came from the States. You had played at Chaminade, which is a school in the States. So, for the Filipinos, it might have been new, but for you, it was probably just a normal thing, right?
Yeah, for me. But they don't. When I first came, and I was stretching, I'd do my stretching before practice, and then everybody was looking at me all weird when I was at La Salle, and then they ask me, "What are you doing?" And then I'd explain to them what I'm doing, and they learned. And then they started picking it up from seeing me stretch, and then they started getting people to trainers that knew how to do it. And then we started getting more systematic about it, where before practice, everybody would get into a group now, not just me by myself doing it, because I'd get there early and I'd start doing my stretching and warming up. And then later on, everyone else started picking it up. They started doing it and asking me, "What is this for?" And I tell them what it was for, why I do it. They say, "Why you do this?" And I explain to them why I'm doing this, and that's when I remember. Now I don't remember Ron bringing it in. I remember it was already coming there. And when he saw me, and I noticed more people started doing it then after I was doing it. That's when I think I pretty much, they learned a lot of that stretching from me coming in, because they would ask me. And
it's a simple thing as stretching that was already a foreign concept to players and coaches back then, right?
Right.
So that was the gap that Charlie was talking about when it came to basketball back then in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, that was about it. Stretching, and I was like, so for me it was like caught me by surprise about the stretching part, because I was like, wow. I mean, but they picked it up real quick. That's all I know. Stretching came up real, just basic things, small things.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, Willie. At this point, we
Yeah.
we have a surprise guest coming in. Someone you
yeah.
haven't seen for a long time, and he's very excited to see you as well. Bianca, can you
Let's
introduce
bring in
our
that special guest. I want to
Bring in
see
the
this
man.
guy also.
surprise guest for everyone, also, not just Willie.
Surprise guest for me. Okay.
Yeah, this is a surprise
everybody.
guest. So,
But this
Yeah,
is
we're gonna-
especially
we're
for
gonna
you.
bring him.
This is especially for you, Willie.
Okay.
Oh wait,
All
right, so-
apparently he
There's
just
a
got
technical hitch.
yeah.
So wait.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just got disconnected. So
little bit of
let's
suspense.
go back. Yeah, a little back suspense.
Yeah, yeah.
Who do we have here?
Just add to the suspense.
Let me
Yeah.
think. I'm trying to think. Who could it be?
Trying to guess who? Or
Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting for him, I just wanted to ask, how long was that stint with the Philippine training team? Because eventually you decided, even when you were in the RP team, you're already thinking, "Am I going to join the PBA?" Were you already set on one day? I'm going to stop this RP team thing. I'm going to join the PBA. Was that part of your plan?
Yeah. I was on the RP team a long time.
Mm-hmm.
For years. So yeah. But I liked it too, though. Don't get me wrong. That's what I really wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And then, but I'm like, I had a lot of pressure on me. People telling me, wanted me to, because they're sponsoring me, right? My club team or whatever, they're putting out funds for me, and so they'd like to get me to come play for them. And so eventually, before it was too late, before anything happened, so I asked permission. They said pressuring me to go ask for my release, and so I finally did. I kind of didn't want to, but they kept bugging me, so I finally asked for it, and they told me what to do, what to say, and I did that, and it happened. But I like to travel, and that's my whole thing. I love to travel and go places like that.
Yeah, and that's when it started, the Toyota signing, and then that didn't happen. Then you went to Crispa.
No, I signed with Toyota with Silverio. I dealt with him personally, and so I was ready to go for them. And then the other part came back. Crispa. Whoa, I don't know what happened there, but it worked out.
Yeah, I did. It
We have
definitely
worked out. We have a Crispa fan and a Toyota fan. Sid and Noel.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, wait. At this point, Willie,
Okay.
we're gonna take a very, very short break
Okay.
to hear this message from our sponsor, but we'll be right back. Just stay put.
Walang imposible, sige lang simple. Abot mo ang unang simple. Malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang pagsubok, di susuko. Alam kong kaya mo. Sige lang simple, sige lang
Thanks, bro.
simple. Walang imposible.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, we like to remind you that this is the podcast form of An Attorney of Basketball, and if you're on the go and you cannot watch live, you can listen to our previous episodes on Spotify and Anchor. Also, don't forget to follow our social media accounts for An Attorney of Basketball and globallyballin.com. We are part of the Globally Ballin Network. And also follow the Globally Ballin podcast. It's a show that we take a surface level view of sports and opportunities around the world. There are a lot of episodes already up on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and other platforms. It's a Globally Ballin network of which An Attorney of Basketball is a member. And another show that's part of that network is Hang Time with Cassie G. Cassie Gorney interviews a famous person from Philippine volleyball every week. She has some episodes also up on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and more. Also follow her social media accounts on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. Okay, that's Hang Time with Cassie G.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, yeah, apparently our friend has gotten disconnected, so he's not coming in yet. So in the meantime, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna look at some photos, right? Are we gonna look at some photos already,
Mhm.
guys?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to take you through some photos from your career. Willie, first of all, yeah, this is the RP training team that we were talking about a while ago, the
Can you see the
981.
photo clearly? Because
You
there you are.
are-
You're on
yeah,
the
I'm
front,
looking.
on the right
See
side.
that?
Right next to Ron. In front of Ron Jacobs.
Yep, that's it.
Yes, yeah.
That's Joel Banal.
That's
but
Joe Banal.
Pamarin.
Mm-hmm.
Coach.
Below, side Joel, you got Jeff Moore. I think is that Bokyo?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bokyo.
Bokyo. Yeah,
and
and then
ECJ's in the middle.
yeah,
Yeah.
ECJ.
Kuwangko there, yeah.
That's Frankie Lim, and then Ricky Brown, Eddie Joe, and Itoy.
Yeah.
And then the guys at the back are the big guys.
Yeah.
JB.
Yeah. JB Yango.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Guy
the name.
beside him and Manny Victorino, I don't know. Steve Scholl also back there. Dennis Still and the guy beside Ricky, I don't recognize either. But yeah, that's your team. That's your team, Willie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis, we went to watch his brother play in the Pro Bowl here in Hawaii.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his brother Art Steele. He played for Kansas City Chiefs
Okay.
football team. So we were able to go watch his game at the Pro Bowl, and he ended up getting the MVP of the game.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Really?
the ball, because they wanted the end. Somebody had fumbled. He fumbled. He called the fumble. He picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown, and they won.
Okay.
Yeah, so he got MVP.
Noel.
Yeah, hold on. Bianca, could you take down the pictures for a while? And this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Our special guest, Willie, has reconnected, and he's about
Bring
to
him in, bring him
reconnect with you. So let's bring him in right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bianca, there we go.
There
That's
we
his
go.
picture. That's his name. We're just waiting for the picture to come on. Ricardo Brown making a special guest appearance here. Ricky, meet Willie. Willie, meet Ricky. How you guys doing? Ricky, how are you doing?
Hey Willie, hey brother, how you doing, man?
All right, Rick.
Hey, can you see me? I'm having so much trouble. I'm having so many technical difficulties.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
Is that a live
hear
video?
Oh,
Oh,
It's your handsome picture.
How do
we
I
see
get a
your
live
photo.
picture? I
We see your photo, Ricky, but we can't see you live.
can't see.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Super
about
photo.
that. Hey,
It's all right.
There's
first
a
of all,
button.
Yeah, that's okay.
Charlie
That's
did.
okay. Yeah.
Charlie, Sid, and Noel,
Yeah.
thank you for
Hi.
having me. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, to all the fans
To you
in
too,
the
man.
Philippines, and to my brother Willie Pearson. It's been 32 years, brother.
that long? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 32 years. I mean, we've been in touch. I mean, you've been talking to my daughter and everybody, the kids and stuff. But yeah, first time we've talked, huh?
Yeah, I hear Willie. I hear Willie telling a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
Charlie, when you get two OGs on here like Willie and I, you're gonna hear some stories.
I got. We got some stories too.
Oh, we got some stories now, don't we? I'm gonna tell a couple quick ones for the fans here.
Oh, go.
And Willie, this gonna make you smile, brother, because I know you can remember this. And this is about the NCC team in 1981 when we flew to Taipei. We got there on a Sunday, and in Taipei on Sunday night, there's not a lot going on. It was pretty dead.
Yeah.
But there was a gentleman there that I don't know how we met him, but we got in the car with him. He was connected to our entourage, and we're driving around Taipei. Willie's in the front seat, and I'm in the back seat. And all of a sudden, he just freezes up. He has an epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
What?
And he just freezes up. And, what I do is I jump in the front seat real quick and put the brake on. And otherwise, we're going to run into a window of the store.
I got the steering wheel.
And I remember Willie afterwards saying, "Hey, Ricardo, how'd you get in that front seat so quick?" I said, "We're not going to die in Taipei, Willie."
I looked in the back. He was in the front.
Yeah. And one more thing, and this is also NCC stories. One thing Jacobs used to do at practice, at the end of practice, he would always lay down a $5 bill or a 10, or if he was feeling good, he'd lay down a 20, and we would have free throw shooting rotations. And if you made it, you stayed in. If you missed, you were out. And probably 95% of the time, it always ended up with Willie and myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes we weren't going to miss. So Jacobs he split it in half and he gave it to both of us for two reasons. Is Willie and I could both shoot free throws, but we also wanted that money, right, brother?
Right. You know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
you guys, yeah, Ricky and Willie, you guys are intertwined already. 1983 Rookie of the Year, 1984 Rookie of the Year. But what kind of special bond did you form? Being youngsters, you were kids practically when you landed in the Philippines, playing the game that you love. I mean, what was the special bond that developed there in your days with the RP training team?
Well, let me share this with you with Willie, because we will always be joined at the hip when it comes to history of Philippine basketball. He came to the Philippines actually before I did, and I came shortly thereafter. We both played for the NCC national team with Boss Danding, and then I went to the PBA first.
Yeah.
And in 1983 was my first year, and I won Rookie of the Year and made Mythical 5. And the next year, Willie came to the PBA, and I'm going to tell you, Willie had, and I've never talked about this with anybody, but Willie had a lot of pressure on him in that he's the Filipino American coming in the second year, and he handled that pressure because he was Rookie of the Year. So I was really proud of it. And then somehow, some way, Willie, 1985, you came to Great Taste with Abe King, and man, we loaded. I mean, that is one of the that was one of the great teams in PBA history. And to this day, I will never understand why we blew that team up, because we could have won 3 or 4 more championships, no doubt. We were all in our prime.
You're making Sid cry right now, because Sid's a big Great Taste fan.
You're right.
No, yeah. Actually, timing, your guessing is timing, Ricky, because as I mentioned earlier in this episode, today is actually the 4th death anniversary of your great coach, Baby Delupan. So he passed away 4 years ago, and of course he was the maestro, and he led you guys to all those championships with Baby was great, and I had the pleasure to speak at his book launching in Washington D.C. and here in California. But I don't want to take any more of Willie's time, but I want you to say this. I want to say this about Willie. Willie and I complimented each other almost perfectly. I mean, I heard him, you were talking about shooting and everything. Willie was a fantastic shooter. He was a great basketball player, but he was even better as an athlete. This young man could run, he could jump. I don't know if you ever ran track and field, Willie, but we knew that you were some kind of athlete. And our time together on Great Taste, as short as it was short and sweet.
Yeah.
And, this is my brother right here. I love him dearly, and I wish you the best always, man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see you before one of these sooner than later.
Well, I'm coming next time I'm in Hawaii. I'm gonna give you a holler, and we're gonna have a couple of Mai Tais and tell some of these OG stories. Okay?
Make sure.
Hey, bring the 3 of us with you. We want to join you.
Oh, that's good. We'll meet right there. We'll meet right there in Waikiki, right, Will?
Let's hit the surf together.
Hey, I apologize, Sid, Noel, and Charlie. I apologize. I can't get the technical piece here. I was really excited about this, and I appreciate you allowing me to come on with my special brother here.
Man, I'm
and,
glad you did.
all my best to all the fans. You guys are rocking with this show, and more power to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ricky. And I'm going to say this
Ricky.
before you leave us, Ricky. I'm just going to say this: when you do come on the show and be our guest, we're going to make sure everything's fixed up and we can see you on that screen.
Oh, definitely.
4 hours.
I don't know what. I apologize for this, but thank you for allowing me to be here tonight, and to be here with someone really special to me. Willie, I'll exchange numbers with Miriam, and I'm gonna give you a holler real soon.
Okay, man. I love you, man.
Yeah.
All right, love you too,
Hey,
brother.
Ricky,
Thank you all.
before you go, Ricky, before we let you go, Willie, do you have something to say to Ricky before we let him go?
I'll be talking to him soon. I'll be talking to him. Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
It was an honor, man, to play with you. You know, because I mean, a real honor. Because I mean, we took turns of whatever we had to do. Sometimes I go call my play, run my play, I shoot it, and then after that, Rick would say, "My turn." I go, okay. My turn. I said,
No,
okay.
you guys,
That was
Willie,
fun. That was fun.
Willie and I go way, way back. We were in the Philippines. We were in the Philippines before anybody knew us, and we worked really hard. And we saw each other. We saw each other move into our journey, and along the way, we joined together, and that made it even more special. You know, we won 2 championships in 1985, and you know, it was a real pleasure to play with this man. All right, everybody, take care. And to the fans, I love you all.
Thank you, Ricky.
Miss everybody.
Thank you for dropping in.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4-hour show when you're on.
All right. Okay. Bye bye now.
All right.
Bye, Ricky. All right, guys. That was, of course,
Wow.
Ricky Brown. I got a little emotional with that reunion. I don't know about you guys. I got a little emotional with that reunion.
Hey, Willie, how you feeling? How you feeling right now, Willie?
How you feel about that moment, Willie?
You know, because me and Rick, we were always together. I mean, more than people would know. When we'd be out, you know, or we'd be at each other's place or having a few beers or whatever, you know. But we'd be together more than people know, you know, talking stories or whatever, you know. Where we went, we'd go out. You know, we usually would go out together. You go, okay, I'll pick you up. Then I'm okay, or I'd pick him up. You know, see who's going. You know, going to do what. But we always together. It was a lot of fun.
We have more photos. We have more photos to show for you right now, Willie Bianco. If we can pull those photos up. So we did show the RP training team before Ricky Brown came on to say hello. So we're going to move on to the next picture right now. We've actually seen this picture on the show more than once already. There is Ricky and Willie. And who's the guy beside you there, Willie?
Frankie.
That's Frankie Lim. Yeah, Frankie Lim. Chowing down. Yeah. So you talked about your memories with Ricky. This is one of them right here, Willie.
Right. Wow, we were like kids right there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're kids.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Look at Frankie too. Look like
I was chatting with your son, and we were trying to figure out who was the guy on the extreme right. We weren't sure, but if it was Lauchenko or
that looks
Ricky
like Bocchio,
Velosa.
though.
But I think it was Bocchio, right?
It looks like Bocchio.
Yeah,
you can tell by the hair.
Bocchio. Yep. Frankie
So
Bocchio.
Let's get to the next picture right now. Of course, you had a lot of meals with these guys, and I am speechless about this one. You got to tell us about this photo, Willie.
Whoa.
That's you and Ricky with the Igorots.
Yeah. By the way, your son gave this. So.
Okay, well, he got something I don't even remember. It was long. Yeah, where is it? This is Baguio?
Yeah, that's probably Baguio.
It looks like it's Baguio. It is, or Ifugao, one of those places.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably Baguio. Yeah.
I don't remember that. One of those.
It's a great picture though.
Yeah. He has something I don't have. Look at that. Wow.
By the way, another PBA legend that's watching right now, Ray Lazaro, has just tuned in.
Yeah, he's been watching about an hour ago already.
Oh, Ray? Yeah. Dr. Ray.
Yeah,
he's
based in Miami right now.
Oh,
the guys who had to defend you. Yeah,
Ray, he had one. Yeah, he was one of the better defenders, and he had one particular really good offensive move that I didn't like too much, but he was good at that. It was like one of his main weapons that he would put out one leg and keep you on way over here on the end, and then he hold the ball way out here, and then he'd have some kind of move to do,
Yeah, he was good at that. Those
moves in one-on-one players.
That one particular move, and he'd hope you reach for that ball out there.
And he'd spin on you.
Yeah. That was his bread and butter.
That's Ray.
That
is Ray.
Yep.
He'd be gone for the layup. So this is a great picture here. Yeah, next photo. Let's take a look at that one, Bianca. Here you go. Crispa. What was it like playing with a special bunch of guys? You came in when the old guys We're still there, but you and the new guys, the outdoor guys, and yourself, that was a super team, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely was that. One thing about what I can say about CRISPA, first class A1. Okay, everything was first class A1 for the players. I mean, before the games, we had a little mansion that we stay in, swimming pool, our own rooms, cook whatever we want to eat, relax before the games, and the Coliseum, our nets is right across the street. We get on the coaster and go to the games right there, and then we come back. You know, first class everything over there. Yeah.
Why did you wait for 1984 to come in? Why didn't you come in together with Ricardo in '83?
Because of Kawanko, Van Veen.
Okay, yeah, because you were still okay. I get it.
Still with the national team.
Yeah.
Well, how does a guy like you were a rookie? This is your rookie year in that photo. And in the 10 years of CRISPA in the PBA, they never had a rookie of the year except you. So how did a young guy like you come in and break into that lineup, into the rotation?
That's a sick lineup. That's a lot of great
That
players.
lineup was so good, but you come in and you're rookie of the year and you average something like 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in your rookie year. How were you able to do that? Is it because coach let you, or the players where they knew your talent? How did you do that?
It was a combination of things, you know. The coach and also with Coach Bernardo there too, and the players, you know, because one thing we had we would go to the house and we would all talk. We had pool tables, you know, whatever we wanted to do, and we became closer to the house. And then I'd be able to, like Atoy, Phillips, SR, you know, I'd talk, you know, we talk, you know, we have good conversations, and then in Crystal Ball, you know, when it was like we had 2 groups at times, you know, it'd be me and Crystal Ball would go in together at guards, and you know, and we play and they had Hubalde,
Yeah.
and so Jimmy, he would put the newer guys in together and let the veterans play together at times, and so I was with the newer guys, and so we kind of like, we just played the game basic, and instead of and then occasionally he'd mix up with veterans, but usually he let the veterans like Atoy, Phillip, and Gadavin and Fabiosa, you know, let these guys play together, and every now and then I'd get in with them, you know. So it was like a little bit of everything, but we got closer as time went on. You know, I'd go in there for, you know, Atoy, you know, stuff like that, you know, as a shooter, and so.
Yeah, but the young guys on this team, that was also like they could have started in any team. We're talking about Villamin, Israel, Cristobal, Cruz. I don't know if Rudy Distrito was already on this team when Willie was there.
He was there before.
Yeah, he was there before.
Yeah.
Already with Gold Eagle in this year.
Fabio was still there.
Yeah, but with Willie, who was the team leader and who was the best player on this team?
That Villamin, we had Gadavin was one of the better players, I'd say. At that time, he was good. You know, I'd say Gadavin was one of the better players. He was at his top of his game at that time too. You know, Gadavin and Phillips SR. But Villamin is very tough too. I like Villamin. Yeah, Yo Villamin and Israel.
Too bad you never got to play against Toyota though. The CRISPA Toyota thing, you weren't able to participate in that, right?
No, only exhibition.
Yeah,
I played a few times exhibition against when I was at LaSalle. We would play against you know, the whole team. You know, they play the whole team would come play us. You know, Jaworski. You know, they come in and they we play a real game. We had some really good games against them. It was good for them and good for us, you know. They wanted
who was with you on that LaSalle team that was playing against Toyota in those exhibition games? Do you remember?
They had Pamarin brothers. They had
John Chico.
Yeah. John.
Chico, Tanichi Turi.
Yep.
So
Turi,
there, Teddy Alfarero.
Teddy.
How about Aldo? Was Aldo with you? Aldo Perez? No.
Nope.
No. Okay.
We had Alfie.
Alfie Almario.
Almario. Yeah.
Almario, yeah.
God rest his soul. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Alfie.
But then
This
this
was the last
team,
championship.
that's the last championship of Crispa, and
Last
then after
championship
that
of Crispa.
season, they disbanded, right? So when Crispa disbanded, what Tommy Manotoc did as deputy commissioner was to spread the Crispa talent around the league, right? And you ended up, initially weren't you supposed to go to Shell, but somehow you ended up in Great Taste, right?
Yeah.
You were supposed to go to Shell. That's what I recall.
Yeah, I did play for Shell eventually.
Yeah, eventually, yes. But right after Crispa, you went to Great Taste, and in that was because Boggs Adornado went to Shell, right? Wasn't that the deal?
Yeah, that was the deal. It was either we couldn't be on, it was either he go here or I go there, And wherever I went, he had to go to somewhere else. They wouldn't let us play on the same team. So, that was how that went. And so Boggs, he went to Shell, but Shell was good. I like Shell too, though. Shell was good.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering what that decision was all about, because I think Deputy Commissioner Tommy Manotoc said he didn't want to form a super team, but with you going to Great Taste, that became the super team. Imagine you, Ricardo Brown, Abe King, Manny Victorino. That was a pretty loaded lineup over there at Great Taste. When you guys talk about that team with Baby Dalupan as your coach.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that was I have to say, one of my favorite teams. One of the better teams. Like Ricardo said, that was top notch team. I mean, you wouldn't believe what we could do.
Oh, I can see the lineup. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we could. It was up to us what we wanted to do, I guess. I'd have to say, but I mean, everyone was just on tune. We were all in tune with each other, We knew we knew where everybody was, what we wanted to do, and we could pretty much do anything,
Mm-hmm.
There was we could dominate a game if we wanted to. If we wanted, we knew who was going to be hot that game. If someone was hot, we knew what we wanted to do. We could dominate if we wanted to,
You had so many weapons on that team. That was a crazy team, man.
Yeah,
You had Jimmy Manansala was there, Joy Carpio was there.
Yep.
Aside from the guns, my gosh.
Was Arnie Tuadlets already on that team? Was Arnie in that team?
No.
Not yet, right?
Gilbis.
Yeah, he was.
Because that would have been it, right? I think Joey Marquez was on that team as well, right?
Joey, no, I don't think Joey. I think Frankie was. Frankie Lamb?
Yeah, Frankie was.
Frankie was.
Yeah. And
that was special.
Yeah, we had top team. Yeah, one of the better teams.
Speaking of Joey Marquez, what I can remember in one game is that you dunked on one end and then Joey Marquez dunked on the other end. You guys were playing against each other. You exchanged dunks, you and Joey Marquez. I think he was with Gilbis.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, I remember that
too. Marquez, he was in Angeles City that time too. He went up there because he's from Angeles, also with his sister Melanie Marquez.
Melanie, yeah.
You remember, huh? You remember, of course, Melanie.
Yes. I remember.
Who would forget Melanie? My question to you, Willie, right now is that you played for the great maestro, Baby Dalupan.
Yes.
What was that experience like? And could you share what Baby Dalupan meant to you when you transferred to Great Taste?
Well, Baby was already a legend, pretty much. He was a legend already. So everyone wanted to play for Baby Dalupan, because of for some reason. And when I got there, I knew why. Then I found out, I'm like, oh yeah, he was smooth. He knows how to get what he wants across to you. Whether it's like he can look at you and give you signals, and what he wants done. And he can easy. You just nod your head, because but just by what he'll put in a word or two, give you a little hand signal, nod his head. You know what he wants. You know what he wants. Easy to communicate with him. Easy, and he just nothing fancy, just basic, being fundamentally sound at what you're gonna do. That's
everybody's all the guesses we had that were under Dalupan said he was a disciplinarian. Do you concur?
Yep, I do. Yep, definitely. Yep. So you don't want him to get mad. You don't want him mad. You don't want him
Wow,
mad.
what was he like when he was mad?
Oh man, I've seen him get mad at you. I wouldn't want him mad at me. I can tell you that. Even when he gets
Did
mad,
he ever get mad at you? Yeah.
no.
Okay.
I wouldn't want that. I do everything he said. You know.
Yeah, you follow the instructions, right?
Yeah, I follow the instructions. I don't try to make. I don't get him mad. You know. No, you don't want that. I've seen him get mad when the guys didn't listen to do what he told them to do. Woo. You know.
Okay, let's move it to the next photo.
Yeah, Bianca, let's go to that next photo.
There you go.
Here's the great tasting.
Speaking of great taste, there's great taste right there.
Oh my gosh, that's a strong team right there. You had Joel Banal on that team as well.
Yeah, Joe, good man too. Joe.
That's Joe Binion.
Yeah.
Your import was Joe Binion.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joe
Joe Binion. This was the Open Conference '85.
Right.
You won that one, yeah.
Yep.
Abby King is there.
You're trying to see who the teammates are, right, Willie? I
Oh,
see.
no,
I'm looking too.
I kind of know. I mean, I can from here. I know who they are pretty much.
Could you let us know who they are? Because me personally, I have a hard time
From
looking.
left, down left sitting, I think that's Joy Carpio.
That is Joy Carpio.
Scorpio in the front. Manny behind you.
That's
Manny.
That's Jimmy Manansala behind Joy Carpio.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Then Willie on his left, and then Woodrow Balani on his right.
Right.
Ponky Alolor at the back.
Oh, Punky. Oh, Punky. I like him. Punky.
Beside Victorino.
Punky.
And you have
The
Jimmy
man-
Gonzaga.
You got stories about Ponky that you can share, Willie? He's gonna be. We're trying to get him as a guest on the show as well.
A lot of stories, but man, it's like
Let's go through,
he's fun.
they're all-
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun guy.
That's
Yeah, then
Manny.
you have Joe Binion. Joe Binion
Yeah.
beside Chito Loizaga, Ricardo Brown, Joel Banal, Abby King, Frankie Lim, and number 18. Who's that? That's is that Tata Merced?
Merced right here.
Yeah, that's Merced, right? On then the
Okay,
Teddy
okay.
Alfarero sitting on the ground.
Yeah,
Right.
Teddy Alfarero. The late Teddy Alfarero as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Teddy played in LaSalle together, and about a team.
Yeah. Then this picture, according to James T, was taken at the Xavier School Gymnasium, or outside, I think, somewhere there.
Oh, that's
So
his
the
school.
picture recognizes the blackboard. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Tony Valenzuela, one of our top fans, also saying that the guy next to Jimmy Manansala is someone named
Dalman, yeah.
Bauman.
Nonay Dalman.
Mhm.
San?
The one next to Jimmy.
Yep.
The other one.
On the
Si
outside.
Dalman ba yun? No, isn't that Woody Balani? No, that's not. Si Dalman ba yan? Okay. My fault.
That is Dalman.
My bad.
Dalman's a little bit mestizo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Olivero
yeah.
Dalman. Akala ko si Woodrow Balani yan. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this could have been a Grand Slam team.
Well, later we had William. Was that William?
Yeah.
No, not a great team.
No,
I think
no,
you became your teammate at Alaska, I think.
Alaska was your teammate in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because as you can see here, Ricardo Brown's hair, that's why when we teased the picture of you, a silhouette of you on our page, they thought it was
Right.
Ricardo Brown because he's got a bigger fro than you do.
Right. Yeah, he
Yeah,
had.
this was his MVP year.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is Ricardo's MVP year, '85.
Oh yeah.
Willie, in your opinion, what kept this team from being a Grand Slam team? This should have been a Grand Slam team.
Yeah, because
Would have been the third for Dalupan too.
I thought we
Yeah.
won quite a few
you
championships.
won. There were 4 straight. The team won,
Yeah,
4
4
straight,
exactly.
but not all 3 in the same year.
Uh-huh.
So they won the
Yeah.
second and third of the 84, and the first and second of 85.
Yeah, this is the 85 I wanted to ask about. What happened in that third conference? You could have had a Grand Slam. It would have been 5 in a row.
Right.
I think you had import problems back then. I started out with this guy named Wally Rank.
That's what
He
happened.
left after,
Yeah, he left.
then-
Paulie Rain.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
another the guy who replaced him wasn't that good. I think his name was Michael Britt, and then
Right. We should have
you
stayed with Wally.
settled for Corey Blackwell.
Yeah,
You
Blackwell.
said you should have stayed. You should have stayed with Wally Rank. You think?
Probably. We kind of disrupted things, maybe. kind of things got a little disrupted, and we just needed him to be there because we were going to do most of it anyway. It wouldn't have mattered too much, We just need somebody that would compliment us, because we had a good team, regardless of who that would have been. Pretty, But then when it got a little disrupted there. But
you guys were able. You made it to the knockout game. You made it to the knockout game against the Northern Consolidated, your former team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did get knocked out. And then the score is 123-107. So that was a 16-point win for NCC. Is it because NCC was just really too strong at the time? What do you think about that matchup? How come they beat you in that knockout game?
They have Chip Engelland on that team. They had Chip Engelland on that team. That's pretty loaded.
Well, I mean, what would it, they got Dennis Steele, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they had muscle.
Yeah.
They had a lot more muscle than we had. I mean, shooting wasn't the problem. It was the muscle on the boards. When you got Jeff Moore, he's like he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. He'll do what he has to do. You're not going to stop him.
No shame in losing to them because they swept Manila Beer in the finals.
They had a better team.
4-0. It was a sweep for them. So
yeah, they had a better team.
They were really loaded, and of
Yeah.
course, that Grand Slam it just didn't happen because of them. They were a pretty strong team.
But I mean, and they were good that day. I mean, because don't get me wrong, we're not. It wasn't like we weren't capable of beating them. We could have. It had to be one of those games, They were
Yeah.
that day.
I agree.
I remember that game. I watched that, and it just wasn't your day. If I remember, NCC played a great game.
Yeah.
You guys were just a little off, but if things were just a little different, and if you could have snuck into that finals, how do you think you would have done against Manila Beer if you had managed to sneak in?
A lot has to do with players. Like if you're beaten before you even play. If you don't think you can win,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem sometimes. Everybody has to be on the same page. That's how I feel. I feel that way. We're all thinking that, hey, we can win. We can beat these guys. They're only going to be as good as we let them be. It's my attitude. And so some guys have different attitudes. They're like, oh, maybe they think that they're a little too good. We can't beat them. We can beat them. We can beat them. Like I said, they're only going to be as good as you let them be. Right?
Yeah.
Well, this was the year that actually three of you made mythical team. You, Ricky Brown, and Manny Victorino all made the mythical team, which is rare to have three teammates make the mythical team. So that's how special that team was. This is the picture I'm talking about right here. Manny Victorino, Ricky Brown, and Willie Pearson, three of you in a row. Of course, Abit Gidabin and Bogs Adornado also on that team, on the mythical team.
Yeah. I know there was one year, Manny and I think we played like 80 or 90 games straight without missing a game.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we didn't miss a game. We played like 80 some games in a row. That was I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and when you entered the 1986 season, you did make the finals in the first conference right away against Tanduay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Charlie's team. That's Charlie's team, by the way.
What?
Yeah, I was cheering for Tanduay. Sorry.
No, I just want to ask about this photo. You talked a bit about Manny Victorino and of course Ricky, and you mentioned Abbott a while ago. What about Boggs? Boggs Adornado.
Boggs.
What was it like playing against him?
Well, when I came across Boggs, he was a little later on in the stage in his career, right? So, but I seen him play. Even then, Boggs is a shooter. He can. He's a shooter.
Light you up.
Yeah, he lights you up. He's no matter what from anywhere. So if he's there, he's there. Not much you can do about it, but try to slow him down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And as long as he couldn't get up and down the floor like he could before, but once he found his spot, that was it.
Nothing you can do about it, huh?
Yeah, put it down on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boggs he's a hell of a player. Yeah,
Let's check out the next photo. Yeah.
But your playing time dwindled a bit in your
Oh, look at
second
this.
year. Yeah, in 1986, your playing time went down a bit with Great Taste, and then it says in the 1986 PBA annual that you asked to be moved to another team. Did that really happen after
Was-
1986? Because it says here that management released him to a team of his choice. That's what it says.
oh well, that's when I went to Shell. I went to Shell after that.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, yes, that was Shell after Great Taste. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. What happened was I had some. There was some people who talked to me, from in between middle people that wanted me to go to Shell. That was and so people advising me or maybe talking, and they know they know me, and they know that part of the party, and they're like this party would like me to come to them, but there's a middle person to let me know that this party's interested in me, right?
Mhm.
And so, and where I mean, it's like, okay, and it'd be better for me to go over there to be compensated better. And so I went there and I talked to Shell, and I had to wait till after a certain period though. Then when it opened up, I went there and talked to them, and then I decided, okay, maybe I want to go there. And management at Great Taste, they made an offer also, that was it was about the same pretty much, but but it was like what I think happened also as far as Great Taste goes, we had gotten to the point where, like you said, a super team.
Mhm.
Well, we kind of felt like maybe we felt like it was too much of an advantage. We kind of wanted to disperse a little bit ourselves,
Right.
to balance things, give it a little more balance, and try something new. We want, I think people want to do that. You want to be competitive. You want things to be more competitive for yourself, by going somewhere where,
Yeah.
Where you feel you can do maybe help more or whatever, and then a fresh start somewhere else because you've been here like your stay has been too long,
Mhm.
and things are kind of too easy.
Yeah, because Great Taste shook things up, right? They moved Manny Victorino to Shell. They got Philip Cesar, remember, and then Jimmy Manansala for Bernie Fabiosa. What's that part of that? Were you part of that deal, or was that a separate signing with Shell altogether?
Separate.
That was separate. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember Great Taste ended up with Alan Kaidik also that season.
Yeah,
next
different
season.
look. Yeah, something different.
But you weren't part of that. That the whole transaction about Alan Kaidik, the trade and everything. That was a different signing. Yours was separate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, well, back to the picture. Sid, I think you wanted to ask something about the photo.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. This is the living legend. Obviously, you guarded him a few times. He also guarded you. What was it like going up against the Big J?
Big J. I like him. I like George. We respected each other. I'm sure. I played against him many times. And I just play the way I play. He plays the way he plays. And but you do. But I remember. I got one story. I'm sure he'll remember it. We were playing an exhibition game at I always remember this. And Anais was there also, and he so I got the ball. I was with LaSalle at this time.
Mhm.
I had the ball under the basket, and he was on me. A couple of guys on me, and then I threw a fake on him. He went way up in the air. He went way up in the air, and I think he was going to get hurt. Because he was up there. He thought he was trying to block he was going to get hurt. So I didn't want to see him get hurt. So I dropped the ball and I grabbed him so he wouldn't fall and break his neck, right? And then and that's how I play. Some guys might not, but that's how I play. So then we started going. It was a time where he wanted me to go on their team. Arnaiz came to me and asked me if I wanted to play with them. And I did want to play with them at one time, but it just never happened.
But when you say you played your game and he played his game, what is his game? What is Jaworski's kind of game?
His game is like tough game. He plays a tough game. You know, some people play with a little more finesse. He plays with a little more physicality to his game. You know, like here I come. One of those, you know, look, you want to be in the way, you can be in the way, but here I come, ready or not. That's how I see it, you know. Ready or not, here I come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll put a body on you if he can.
He'll put a body, put a body on you.
Well, not just the body. Yeah, I mean, did you give me one of those trademark karate chops?
No.
Going up against you?
I didn't have nothing dirty. He never did anything dirty to me like that. You know, he just played nothing dirty, no dirty plays. He never tried to hurt me or do anything dirty like that. No, he just played me tough. That's all. You know, that's how I feel. He just played me tough in a tough way, and that's the way I like to be played. And I like that play. You know.
I'd like to clarify one thing, no, because Ricky Relosa says that you went to Alaska before you went to Shell. Is that right?
Yeah,
right after Great Taste, didn't you go to Shell?
No. I was at Shell first before Alaska.
Shell first, right? Yeah, I know it was Shell for a year, right? And then you went to Alaska and then finished off your career at Alaska. Okay.
Right, exactly right. Okay. Exactly right.
Okay.
You're correct.
So how did you end up at Alaska after the Shell stint? How did that happen?
Whoa, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Because I can't find any material on that as well, and how it happened. Was there a trade or was it just a free agent signing?
Yeah, it was a free agent signing. I think I just went there. No, how did that happen?
Remember?
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm trying to think. Oh, I remember talking to the manager. Yeah, I had a meeting with him.
Alaska manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boy Aquino.
Yeah. What happened was this in between person again.
Mm-hmm.
He was like my agent for me. He was like a family. He's like my brother, my uncle, my everything to me. He was always there, making things happen like that. You know. That's how that happened. That's how mostly all of it happens. Everything.
Why did you choose Alaska of all teams? Why Alaska? Was there something attractive there? Was it the salary? Was it, I don't know, was there some teammates?
Maybe Ricky and Yo-Yo had something to do with that.
Yeah. And frankly, all the guys I know all these guys. Everyone there that I knew, we played together before. We've been there. We've won championships together. We've done a lot from national team. Everything I know. I'm familiar with the players. We're familiar with each other, so it's not a problem to play with someone, guys you're familiar with. We sort of grew up together,
Yeah. Basketball wise.
Yeah. Yeah, basketball.
Here's a rare photo of you in a Shell uniform. There's not too many.
Yeah,
right.
It's you with Manny Victorino trying to block a shot of, I think it's Michael Young.
Yeah, that's Michael Young.
That's Michael Young.
First conference of 1987.
And behind you is Romy Ang. I see Romy Ang there at the back.
Yeah. Your coach at this time, I think, was Edo Campo.
Mm-hmm.
And was eventually replaced by Joe Lipal later in that year, if I'm not mistaken. Third conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember Campo.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Toyota before, right?
That's right. Right.
Yeah,
he was the coach of Toyota.
Yeah, he's the one that got the letter I had, and I talked to him. Yeah, Ocampo. Yeah, he was at Toyota at that time.
Oh, okay.
When I mailed the letter, when I sent the resume over there, Ocampo was there at that time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was after Fort Acuna already.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember the third conference playing under Joe Lipa? Because Jimmy Manansala and Onchi de la Cruz had some really good stories about playing for Joe Lipa. Jimmy in particular when he was with Shell, your teammate with Shell.
Playing with who?
Playing under Joe Lipa. Coach Joe Lipa in 87.
I don't think
he replaced Campo.
Yeah, I didn't play with them. I never played with
No?
Joe. No,
Oh, no, you never played under Joe Lipa. Okay.
no, I never
Oh,
played.
maybe you
Okay.
maybe got traded after that. Yeah. Anyway, next photo. Let me just see the next photo. Okay.
Well, here's you with Alaska already.
Here, Alaska already.
And you're guarding a very young Alan Kaidik there too.
Oh yeah. Yep. He shoots from all over the place too.
Yeah, that's right. That's him.
Was he lefty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
lefty.
That famous lefty shot. That guy won a lot of games with that 3-point shot.
Right. Yep. He's a shooter. I remember Kaidik, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you had to guard him, you'll always remember him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, your number here in Alaska is number 3 already on your jersey. Did you have any significant reason why you would choose certain numbers, or is it just because it's available?
There might have been numbers I preferred, but if not, I wasn't superstitious about it, But I did, number 3, probably because my birthday might be on the 3rd, if anything.
Okay.
That's about it. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 kids.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But then, Willie, your PBA career ended after your stint here with Alaska. What was the decision you made to finally say, "All right, I'm walking away from the PBA"? What made you come to that decision?
I couldn't perform the way I felt. I felt like I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, as far as jump the way I wanted to, and I didn't want to get to the point where I'm going to hurt myself, I mean, because I know my body. I'm like, it won't react the way I wanted it to, It's like that was things that were easy for me to do before. It's like I can't. Why am I'm having such a hard time to do it now? When I feel good, I feel capable, but it's just not. I don't have that lift, And my whole thing was I like the way I can get up off the floor, and get up and down the floor, Wasn't there, and pretty much, and my kids, of course. Number 1.
You were just 32 when you left the PBA, right?
Yeah, very young.
About 32, 33. So
Yep.
you could have probably played a couple more years, but yeah, I guess your body tells you, when it's time, right?
For me, because I'm not gonna I mean, I can still play, but not the way I want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for sure I can still play, but not the way I want to play. I just be taking up space. That's all. And just looking like not me. It wouldn't be me playing.
Well, here's a question. Were you able to play under Tim Cone back with Alaska?
Yeah.
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 So can you tell us about the young Tim Cone? Because by now you might have found out he's already overtaken Baby Dalupan as far as championships is concerned and all of that.
Yeah.
So he's considered the man as far as coaching is now.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
But how was he? How was a young Tim Cone? And what was Willie Pearson's impression of this young guy coming in trying to do his thing?
Yeah. Well, Tim he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Back, and when I played under him before, he knows what time it is. The way I see it. I was a little surprised that he was better than I thought he was. He knew a little more than I thought he would. He's good at what he did. What he does, and I didn't have any doubt in him. That he could be a good coach. No, none. He knew what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he redesigned that. He got that triangle offense and won so many championships with Alaska after that. And he's just had a great career. But you've also had a great career, short career. After basketball, Willie, what happened? What did you do next?
Take care of my parents.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went home to Hawaii.
Yeah. And
why did you stick around and probably become more involved in the game after you were done playing? Just because you had to go home and take care of your parents?
Well, shortly after I got here, my dad was he was diagnosed. I took him to the doctor. He was diagnosed with cancer, so I had to. So my mom was getting frail too, so I took care of him and under hospice until he went. And then my mom went shortly after that. Not a few years after that, and my kids, my daughters, like I had all girls at the time, so I felt they had a better opportunity, which they did, and they're doing fine. So I thought about that, and I coach teams over here. I coach University of Hawaii players.
Yeah.
In the summer league, I've done that, and I coach high school. The what's called the guy over here was the head of the principal or the athletic director. My former school was still athletic director. So at Kailua High School, so he asked me if I wanted to. They needed a coach to coach the JV team because they didn't have anybody. So I did that, and then he wanted me to do track a little bit, coach track team, stuff like that, So I helped them out with that, but I really didn't want to do anything with basketball. But they really needed. They told them I'd do it. I did it one time for them. And I didn't want to. I wasn't concentrating so much on basketball anymore. I was like, I was in. Your parents. You lose your parents. You're not going to be too happy after a while.
Absolutely. Yeah.
you
Just want to interject that we do have two former PBA players also watching right now. The guy that you just guarded in that last picture, Alan K. Dick, is watching right now. Willie and the guy who probably used to be who actually was your teammate and used to guard after he was your teammate, Bernard Fabiosa, is also watching right now. So I don't give a shout out to these guys.
Yeah, he's Speedy Gonzalez, Bernie. Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, that was his.
Nice.
I
Yeah, Willie,
retired kind of early because keeping up with these young guys like that, it's not easy. He's tough, and more
especially
upcoming,
after
better.
yeah.
Players are getting better and better. You know what I mean? They're going to get better and better.
Yeah.
So like I said, the influx of this whole new generation.
Oh yeah,
of,
everybody has their
players.
era of playing. It's a new era. Bigger, stronger players, and they're going to get better, and they're better and better. So
yeah, because when you came in, you were the highest jumper. You're probably one of the quicker guys. But then later on, everybody was the same. Everybody was jumping high. Everyone's just as quick as you were.
Exactly. My era is over. I'm back here with with New York Knicks, Clyde. The Clyde.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing about that. Dr. J. My era. It's the time I know. They know.
Well, our fans are getting a big load of Willie Pearson right now. For those of you who didn't get to watch Willie Pearson, probably one of the best two-way players the league has ever seen. Willie, my question to you right now is, now that you're there in Hawaii, how do you keep in touch? How do you stay with the game besides reminiscing about it? Are you involved in the community in any way? Are you recognized there in Hawaii as this guy used to be a basketball player? So are you involved in basketball in any way, shape, or form nowadays in Hawaii?
No, not nowadays. Nowadays, every day is pretty much a therapeutic day for me and my body. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Just try to go swimming. I don't even try to go swimming. Do a little weights. Stay with my hobby. Ride my little bikes. Go karts. Stuff like that.
So you don't? Do you even try to play basketball? Do a little shooting at all? No.
No. Last time I did, I went with my son, and we were playing, and he's taller than me, and I'm like, I got a rebound, and my son-in-law, and I took a step. I'm like, I'm ready to take him to the hoop. I took one step, I dropped the ball, and sat down, messed up my. I give up. That was it.
Yeah, that happens to us too. I think. That happens to us also.
One step.
Yeah, I just want to ask, do you still keep tabs on the local basketball scene there in Hawaii? Yeah, I'm just going to ask you, are you aware of this Phil Hawaiian center, the young Phil Hawaiian center named Sage Tolentino, who plays, I think, for Marinol High School there? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, Marino. Yeah, my one of my former teammates over here is coaching over there, Marino also. Yeah,
Okay.
Hurtado.
Have you seen this kid play? Have you seen this kid play, Sage Tolentino? So I think he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, wasn't do you have a picture of him? I've heard of him. I think I just read about him recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he was in the Philippines, and they were sending him to practice in L.A. or somewhere.
No, I think you're thinking of Kai Soto. This is a totally different
Okay.
player. He's based there in Hawaii, and I think he led his high school Marinol to the state championship, and he's like 7 feet, and he's just got an offer from Kansas University. But anyway, he's one of the up and coming players coming out of that state.
I'm gonna check that out because I usually they have teams from all over the U.S. coming over here to Hawaii, and they have a tournament here.
Mm-hmm.
High school teams, and they play at Marinol and other gyms, and I keep track of that. I must have missed that. No, maybe because of the COVID thing, I might not have been something.
Yeah. But if you have a chance, you could actually talk to him and tell him, share some of your basketball wisdom with him, Sage Tolentino.
Yeah,
Marinol. I'm going to do that. Because I know some of the coaches over there. They're coaching now. Yeah.
And did you know that you're not the only Chaminade alum to play in the PBA? There's I don't know if you know him, Will Antonio. He played in the PBA in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. His name is William Antonio. I know he played at Chaminade as well.
What year was that?
Early 2000s, maybe.
Maybe. Played in the PBA early 2000s, so maybe he was in the
90s,
mid 90s, maybe.
Mid 90s.
I've been to Chaminade games. I went to a few. I wonder if I've seen him play.
William.
Yeah. He had a brother, right? Stephen. Did they play in the same school?
No. Steve. I don't think Stephen played at Chaminade. I think it's just Will.
Antonio.
I have a question for you because I know time is short and we'll be signing off pretty soon. Can you compare the 1984 Crispa team to your 1985 Great Taste team?
Wow.
What are the think about the players and then your role and then how you would win, your coaches, because those are two great teams you were on to start your career.
I think that would have been a good matchup. That would have been a super matchup right there. I'm looking at both sides. I'm like, wow, that would have been a beautiful game. That was perfect. Oh man, that would have been nice.
What if Willie Pearson didn't play and he was just watching? Who would win, the 84 Crispa team or the 85 Great Taste team? Without Willie Pearson on the team, who would have won?
Probably Crispa.
Yeah, I
probably
say
Crispa.
that.
Probably Crispa.
Yeah. Sid would acknowledge that as well too.
Because
of those veterans, right? Those veterans with the
MVPs there.
Very smart. They're good. I mean, they know how to play. Believe me, they can play.
We're going to see that again in a PBA team. Four former MVPs on the same team.
Yeah.
Right.
They're good play. Gazabin's a good player. I'm telling you, I like him. I like the way Gazabin's a hell of a player. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he won 2 MVPs.
Yeah. I'd take him anytime on my team. Gazabin.
Okay. Well, we're going to ask you to pick some players later on, but I have a question. It's a little off topic. It was asked earlier. What about the Filipino food that you enjoyed the most when you were here in the Philippines? This was like an hour ago, but I think it's great to ask about that.
I like whenever I would go to a province or anywhere where we travel somewhere in the Philippines, I'd get kilo win.
Kilo win. Okay.
Oh wow!
All right.
Making me hungry now.
Kilo win.
Good stuff.
And sisig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's healthy stuff. That's
almost
healthy
lunch.
Stuff. Yeah, I love that. And shrimp, sinigang, hipon.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pork.
Are you able to get any of that over there? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Filipinos there, so I'm sure you get to taste that. Yeah?
Yes. They have
Okay, that's
restaurants here too. It's
Mm-hmm.
good. I went yesterday. Matter of fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great.
The Filipino community there, Willie, they still recognize you, and do they
Oh,
still talk to you about basketball?
oh yeah, yeah. I talk to a lot of people whenever I'm around there. Yeah, or I go there. But other than that, I'm like I've always pretty much been laid back.
Yeah.
Watch sports on like how I'm doing now. Watch sports on TV or all the channels. You can see everything now. Technology is incredible. You know what I mean? I'm not used to this. I don't. I got one of them phones, iPhones, or whatever. I don't even know how to work it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
same
learning.
here.
I'm just learning. I just know how to answer.
No, we're all learning how to operate these gadgets now because of this COVID thing.
I don't know
Yeah.
nothing. Oh, you learning? I don't know anything about anything. I really don't. I mean, this is
One of our fans here, Man Ressa, actually is declaring that Will Antonio played for Chaminade in '92 to '96. So he played 4 years in Chaminade in the early '90s. There you go, Man Ressa just posted that one. So
okay.
another Chaminade alum. So we're about to close this show. Willie, Sid has a question that we usually ask our guests. I'm sure you're familiar with this already at this point. So go ahead, Sid.
Yeah, a couple. First, Willie, who were the toughest players that you had to guard or had to go up against, well, during your PBA career?
Whoa, toughest players?
Mhm.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, toughest to guard. The ones who you were more known as an offensive player, who were the ones who guarded you the best?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, the toughest defenders.
wow. I the when I'm playing, I guess when I'm really at the top, when I'm back, I mean, when I'm starting to play in the beginning, I didn't feel like anybody could really guard me. That's how I feel. I wasn't really worried about anybody. Like how they defended me because I could do pretty much more than one thing. I'm going to score any kind of way. If it's not shooting, it's going to be offensive rebound. I'm going to steal the ball. I'm going to do something other than just shoot. There's so many ways to score other than just shooting the ball, right?
Okay.
So I'm not worried about how I'm going to score, but I know I'm going to score because I'm going to do what I got to. That's how I'm used to playing. I'm going to score. I just don't know. I'm not worried about scoring, because I know I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to get open. I'm going to do something, but I'm a ball hawk. You have certain people that they have a nose for the ball. Wherever the ball is, they're going to be there. Those are the players you got to watch out. They're going to score because wherever the ball is, they have a nose for it. They're going to get the ball. And they're just offensive. I don't worry about scoring that. So I wasn't worried about being defended against because I'm going to, okay.
Mhm.
But guarding somebody,
Yeah.
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 There's quite a few that
Okay.
I play a little defense too. I can play some D, but
That's right. That's
You
right.
did. You did.
yeah,
did.
and they have guys that they have guys you're not going to stop them either, because it's at the point to where you can't really stop anybody offensively, because players they're too good right now at that. They're getting better and better. So only way you're going to stop somebody is you need help. You're going to try to contain them or try to, like you need help. Somebody's going to have to help or do something to help you out because you're not going to. Players are too quick. You're not going to stop them. Really, I was at the point where that's the point we were at when I was playing. Pretty much, players were getting better, and they were like getting. You're not going to. You're not going to stop anybody really offensively if they're really going to score. If they really have a knack for scoring, you need help. You need help, and most players are that way now.
Yeah. But give us a couple of names. Who are those guys who, even if you tried your best to stop them, they could still knock a jumper over you?
Player like Kai Dick, he's one.
Oh yeah.
Definitely he's one, and you have you're not going to stop a player like I didn't have to guard him, but you're not going to stop player like Cesar was good. Philip Cesar, Atoy Cole, players like that, and Godabin, you're not going to stop him.
Mon Fernandez.
Yeah, Fernandez, you're not going to stop him. And, you know, they're going to score. That's what they do. You're not going to stop him. You got the shooters. You're not going to stop guys like Kylie is one of the better shooters, but there's quite a few that can shoot the ball.
Yeah, Ricardo Brown, for that matter, man. Ricardo Brown, you're looking at him.
You don't even have to say
You're
that.
looking at him.
You don't even have to say Ricardo. You know, he's going to. That's a given already. It's a given. You know, you're not going to stop him. And I've come across shooters. It's hard to stop them, you know, unless they're just off. Unless they're having a day off, you know. It's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna put it up from way out there. They're, like Curry, you know. How you gonna stop Curry? Before you even get to him, he's already up. And you get to him, he's already going back the other way. And you just wasting your energy. Yeah.
Okay.
Who else?
So,
Okay.
Sige.
Gentlemen?
well, yeah.
Go ahead.
My final
Sid.
question would be, who were your 5 favorite teammates?
My 5 favorite teammates. Whoa.
Not necessarily the best. But,
Okay.
you know,
I like
The
Joey.
guys that you enjoyed playing with.
Oh, Ricardo, of course, Ricardo when we were teammates. But Joey Loizaga, one of my favorite guys. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He'd always sing every time. He's a singer, you know what I mean? He'd sing me to death. He'd sing me to death. He just come up with a song, you know, nonstop. I said, Joey, sing a song. Sing that song again. He's good. Joey Loizaga, Frankie. I have a lot. Favorite players. I like William, Yo-Yo,
Okay.
Frank Velosa. I like Velosa. You know.
Bruce Brothers. as they were
Yeah.
called.
I like Cheeto too. Cheeto.
Okay.
Zaga brothers.
So let's talk about brothers. Huh?
The Loizaga brothers, both of them, and Monticello, Jimmy, one of my guys. You know. Yeah, that's more than 5. But
Yeah, it is more than 5.
I like Bernal. I like
Joel.
Joel. Bernal. Yeah, I like Joel.
These guys had your back when you were playing, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I like all of these guys. I love these guys. You know, I'll never forget them. Never forget guys like that. Can't forget them.
We're not gonna forget. We're not gonna forget your contributions to basketball, Willie. Thank you for changing the game when you were here. You had a short career, but a memorable one. Charlie.
Yeah, you know, Willie, before we let you go, any message for the fans, for the guys who used to cheer for you back in the 80s and all those guys who supported you, and not just here in the Philippines, but in your basketball career? No, I guess now's the time to shout out and
Yeah.
all that.
Definitely. I got to thank number one, Boy Fabli and his family, the Fabli family, and Coancos, and man, who else I got? Definitely all the fans of all the Filipino fans. I mean, you talk basketball, man. I was a lot. Those are fans, and the Filipino fans are the best fans you can have. I'm telling you, because they're the best. Yeah, everybody has their best fans. Filipinos are the best fans. They're not. I mean, wow. You know, I mean. Yeah, and I have nothing but appreciation and thanks, and I was honored that they accepted me to play for the national team, especially. You know, that was an honor for me, and I'm happy they accepted me and allowed me to play, because that was a dream come true for me, and that's why my career was short and sweet, because that was what I wanted the most.
Mm-hmm.
That the other stuff was just gravy for me. You know, it was like I feel honored that happened for me. It was a dream. And I thank them for that. I thank all the Filipino people for that.
Right.
Well, I think I want to thank you personally on behalf of the guys for coming to our show. It's an honor for us to be able to interview you. The first time Filipino-based show gets to interview Willie Pearson after all these years, and your memory is still fantastic, Willie. Thank you very much for sharing with us today.
I'm glad I was able to thank the Filipino people for what they did for me. So,
All right.
Thank you.
All
right, Sid.
Okay.
All right,
Sid.
Hey.
Sid. You gotta, yeah,
I'll be watching you guys.
All right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Willie.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Willie, for agreeing to come on this show. And as we like to say here, the name is an eternity of basketball, but unfortunately, we do not have an eternity to interview everyone. We'd like to thank our episode 38 guest, Willie Pearson. He was called, by the way, the very important Pearson. That was a nickname of
VIP.
Blake
Yeah.
Joe Cantata.
Yep, VIP.
Oh, Joe Cantata.
VIP.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that.
The name of this show is actually named after a popular phrase that Joe Cantata used, an eternity of basketball. And he also called you the VIP, the very important Pearson,
Yes, he
back
did.
when you were,
Yes,
when
he
you were
did.
playing. So we'd like to thank you, Willie, again. We had a blast having you on the show and reminiscing all this time.
Hey, I had to thank Filipino people. Thank you.
All right. Great.
And yes, sa lahat ng mga nanonood, dyan po nagwawakas ang ating episode 38 of An Eternity of Basketball. And on Friday,
There you go.
don't forget to...
Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Walang
Salamat,
anuman, Mr.
Willie.
Pearson.
Yeah, walang anuman, Willie. Yan. There's a Tagalog phrase we were waiting for. On
Yeah.
Friday, join us again for another episode. We will have as guest one of the original big men, star big men of the league, Manny Paner, will be joining us
Very kind
on
of.
Friday. Manny Paner will be joining us on Friday, 6 o'clock. Just
Amen.
look out for announcements on our Facebook page. But yeah, he will be joining us. The first superstar big man of the PBA on Friday. So again, yan po nagwawakas ang ating latest episode ng An Eternity of Basketball on behalf of Noel Zarate, Attorney Charlie Cuna, and our guest, Willie Pearson. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you,
The
Willie.
world has changed a lot these past few months. And we could all use some of this right now. Oh, and definitely more of that. Well, it's all back. With a slight twist. It's the game you love, like we've never seen before. 22 teams, all in one place, with the whole world watching. It's a whole new game, and we're glad it's back.